What happened with the election? I've had a few people reach out to me like I would know any more than anybody else, but I guess I do. Don't lose heart. We didn't lose. Let me draw you a picture. How do you steal something from someone when that person doesn't know they own it? Like a right or a promise. How do you steal it from them? You convince them that it never was. Hey, your Second Amendment, it doesn't mean that. The right to free speech doesn't mean that. When people try to convince you that you don't own something that you inherently do own, it's called gaslighting. How many months were we told in the run-up to the election that Trump had no chance to win? Trump has no chance to win. Biden is leading, 7, 8 points nationwide, then 10 points nationwide, then 15 points nationwide. Yet when you would go and watch his rallies, you see that there's no enthusiasm. No one's there. Getting closer to the election, more Trump supporters were showing up at Biden rallies than Biden supporters. But we were told over and over again, Trump has no chance, even while you would watch the, Trump rallies, where there were tens of thousands of people would show up. Like the Butler, Pennsylvania rally, which I think is the most accurate representation of his rallies. It was in a battleground state, and the Secret Service actually came out and said, yeah, we're estimating that there were 57,000 people there. It just showed Trump is behind enemy lines and he's got that much support. Yeah, don't believe it. Don't believe your eyes. Just like with the laptop from hell. Don't believe your eyes. Don't believe what you've seen in the videos and the pictures and the emails and the text. Don't believe it. It's not real. The national media was asking you to not believe the enthusiasm of his base. So for months, we were gaslighted. We were made to believe that, yeah, Trump has no chance whatsoever. They were saying that this was going to be a landslide for Biden. So that's where we are right now. When people like me come out and say, hey, well, these counts don't make sense, you're immediately labeled a conspiracy theorist because the whole populace has been conditioned to believe Trump has no chance to win. There's no momentum on his side. Nobody wants him in office. No matter what, he's going to leave. We're going to take him out. So after months of that, it's a whole lot easier to take something, our victory, because a lot of us don't know that it was ours to begin with. Trump won. How far are they going to push it? How much are they going to ask us to believe? Trump was leading by 100 and some odd thousand votes in Michigan when I went to bed. When I woke up, I looked at a story and 138,000 votes came in for Biden. But it was just enough to put Biden over. How far are we going to allow ourselves to be pushed? When Obama was president, I would post all kinds of stuff and people would call me a conspiracy theorist. People would say, man, you're losing it. You're losing. What good are you doing posting that stuff? All I did was alienate myself. Everybody just wants to go along to get along. It's human nature. We're not combative. I kept posting these things that just were wrong to me. And I was a conspiracy theorist. I was just a hater. I was a racist, even. People would ask me, well, what do you do? What can I do? I don't know what I can do. And I would say, do what I'm doing, man. Just post something. If you look in nature and how nature camouflages itself, go look at a moth or a fish. They've got these little round things all over their bodies. Moths have these big round things on their wings. Fish have the little round thing, and these round things really look like eyes. In nature, when you look at something, you're acknowledging it. It's less likely to attack you. That means I see you, I know what you're doing, and I'm not going to put up with it. What do you think algorithms are? I was talking about this in 2009. They see you. They see the algorithm. 100 million people view a cat video within a week. Well, they know all these other things that really matter that aren't getting any views. They don't have to do anything. People started looking at things that mattered. Then you would have all kinds of things that would come up, whether it be a mass shooting, an emergency overseas, whatever it is. When you started paying attention to the things that mattered, all these things started showing up. But as long as you watched your cat videos, you were fine. That's how they hold on to power. So what do we do now? They're looking. Who stops counting in an election? The loser. They know how many they need to win. They're going to go find them. The winner never stops counting. The winner wants to count now. So what do? We won. How do we bring this victory home? You're going to have to get loud when you see a story like over 100,000 ballots are found and 90% of them are for the guy that was losing. You need to start getting loud. Got to start getting loud. You got to start being the outcast. You got to start being the conspiracy theorist. You got to start questioning things. The other side questioned Trump's loyalty for 4 years. He is a Russian puppet. People would say he's a traitor. It's like, how can you believe this? There's no evidence of it. None of it even made sense. Everything was found out to be a lie. How do you continue to believe a lie? They just kept pushing it. How do you get people to believe the truth? You have to speak the truth. You have to go out there and you have to speak the truth. We know they're trying to steal it right now. Many elections have been stolen in this country. You start talking about these things out loud and they sound just ridiculous. But then it turns out, like, if I were to tell you, hey, I've got this laptop that shows, Hunter Biden doing some really, really horrible things. I've got some emails showing that Biden, was collecting money from foreign governments through his family. If I were to tell you that a year ago, you would call me a conspiracy theorist. It's always a conspiracy theory until it turns out to be true. How do we stop the theft of this election from being a conspiracy theory? You got to press it home. You got to continue to fight. You got to continue to point out things that don't make sense and educate yourself. More than anything that this has taught me is the average American is totally ignorant of what we own, which is our rights. That we have these rights just because we have a pulse, and people don't realize it. I can't believe how many questions I got today. And people were saying, hey, this is scary. I guess it's over with. There's nothing we can do. He lost. I understand why people say that, because they're watching the wrong source. I get why they're saying it. We don't have to continue to be like this. How do we stop it? I'm sorry, I'm on a rant, but wake up. Educate yourself. Know how the process works. If you don't know how the process works, you could have all kinds of things done to you and you never know it. Know that election day is election day. It's November 3rd. That's when you cast your ballot. You don't count ballots a week after the election. If you can't see that just opens everything up to corruption and fraud, I don't know what to do for you. But I'll tell you this, we got a dog in the White House right now. He is going to fight. Donald Trump is going to fight, and he's going to come out victorious because he's already won. Keep the faith, keep the hope, keep fighting, keep speaking the truth. Notice how quiet your liberal friends are. They're not out there in your face saying, yeah, he lost, because they even know it's not true. You know in your gut, Trump won. Now we got to bring it home. Don't fret. Turn off the freaking news. Turn off the freaking news. Don't listen to pollsters. 2016, I talked to some really smart people. I said, Trump's going to win. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to win. Why? Why did these really smart people get it wrong? Because they were watching the news. The news was preparing them for a loss. What was I watching? I was watching the momentum. I was watching the rallies. I was watching how excited people were. Finally, we got somebody that's going to fight for us. They're not in it to enrich themselves or their families like we see now. Trump's lost over $1 billion being president. Get out of here with the crap that he's getting rich. Go look at your guys. I hope that helps. Don't stop fighting. Don't stop fighting. Speak the truth and turn off the freaking news.